this is Ashley Moon, and today I'm going to be reading recommendations from my family. So I'll be reading a book recommended to me by my sister, a book recommended to me by my future sister-in-law, and then my husband's recommendation. I was hoping to read some more, but you'll find out watching this video what took so long reading the books. It took me like maybe 2 weeks or so. Enjoy the video. So for my first family recommendation, I have Discover What You're Best At by Linda Gale. My sister asked if I would look over this, and it's about looking at what you are good at, well, discovering what you're best at. It's an aptitude test, and she took the test, so I thought I would try it out. And yesterday I did 3 of the tests, a business, clerical, and logic test, and then I have 3 more that I'm gonna do, and then I'll see which aptitude that I am best at. I'm gonna go ahead and get working on that, and then it'll also suggest different types of careers that would be good depending on how I score on the test. So I will work on that and then update you on the results. I got some new glasses, and it is Friday, and I have finished taking the test and Discover What You're Best At. I actually looked through this, and this came out in 2012, but there's probably a bunch of new jobs that could be added in here, and there might actually be a more updated version. But I just want to let you know, I took 6 tests, and in those it told me which cluster of jobs would be good for me. So I scored superior in business and clerical, and then I was above average in logic and social, and then I was average in numerical and mechanical. So you take the ones that you're best at and you look in the clusters for those. So I looked in business and clerical, but you can also take some that are also high, so like my above average ones, I looked at those and I added those, so I could look in the business clerical logic or the business clerical social. And because I had the superior business and clerical, it suggested to look always at that. So further into the book, it has these career clusters. So it tells you, like, if you need to have a high school degree, college degree, associate's degree, or a graduate degree for these different kinds of jobs. And as I was looking through, like, some that jumped out at me were like a virtual assistant, secretary, librarian. Surprisingly, I did go to school for education. The only education I got in here was in one of the clusters. It was a secondary school teacher. I do not teach secondary school. They're all too tall. And there was librarian, which was kind of cool, and a summer camp director. So it was really interesting to see how different this is. And I wonder if I had taken this assessment, if that would have changed my mind about what I wanted to do. So my sister recommended this book, so now I'm going to be working on reading another book that my future sister-in-law had recommended. This book is called Gilded by Marissa Mayer, and it's a retelling of Rumpelstiltskin. There's a girl named Cerilda, and she is a miller's daughter. She tells lots of lies, makes up stories, and then she ends up going to a king, and then she's told to make, well, she's told to spin straw into gold, like the Rumpelstiltskin story. I haven't gotten too far into it. I did start it the other night, but I am reading it on Kindle right now. I believe this is a duology, and I think both of those books are on Kindle Unlimited. Okay, so it looks like the second one is Cursed, and that one doesn't look like it is on Kindle Unlimited. So I'll be working on reading that one, and I really like fantasy retelling, so I'm excited for this. The character so far, just in the first few chapters, I like that she connects with the kids in the town, and she's like a teacher assistant. I think that's really cool. I'm excited to read some more. So it's like a week later, and I finally finished Gilded. I think I've been in a bit of a reading slump. I read a lot of books in March, and I just like have had trouble getting through books in May, or in April. I've spent the last week with my family for spring break, so I didn't read a lot, but I finally finished Gilded, and it's taking forever, and I was worried I was going to be like, I don't really know where this is going, and I don't know if I want to read the second one, but I got to the end and I'm like, okay, I need to read the second one. So it was pretty good. I got a little confused with some of the like creatures and things that were mentioned in the book, but when I got to the acknowledgments, it talked about there were some German influences, and I'm like, oh, well, that's why my Kindle dictionary couldn't figure out what these words were, because they were not even in English. They were probably German creature names and things. So it made me appreciate how much probably research went into the book to find out. But I am creeping on my library to see if I can find the next one. So I am looking forward to finishing the Gilded duology. But my next book is going to be my husband's recommendation. I am going to read the Warriors books, just at least the first one. I never read them in middle school or high school or whatever, but I had a lot of friends that really liked it, and my husband was like, you love cats, you love your cat James and all the other cats, you should read Warriors because I think you'd like it. So that is his recommendation for me, and I'm hoping because it's a YA book and it's definitely shorter than some books that I've tried to read this month, that it'll be a quick read, and I hope I'll enjoy it. I might continue the series, I'm not sure. It's on Kindle Unlimited, so it's all good and I can read that. And yeah. I have a little visitor right here. Jamesy. Jamesy. Hey. Cat obsession right here. Alright, so I have finished the first Warriors book. I forgot the name of it. I think it's let me go find that. I finished Warriors Into the Wild by Erin Hunter. I ended up reading it while I was dog sitting. The irony being I was watching a dog, but I was reading about cats. But I really enjoyed it. I think if I had read it when I was a kid, like, I would have probably been obsessed with it. So I thank my husband for that recommendation. Interesting. I actually kind of want to continue and see like what's happening in it. But it is a book for 8 to 11-year-olds, and I think this would be like I know it's a popular series, but reading this first one, I also think that if someone is recommending it to a child, that also take into consideration there are some instances that might be a little touchy, like because they're warriors, there's killing, and so there are some times where like they're thinking, oh, is this okay for me to kill this other cat? And it's not people, but it's like, just be wary of that if you're going to recommend it to a kid. But I am very curious to see where this story will go, so I think I may actually continue this series. I think this is like one section that's the prophecies begin, and I think there's 6 books from what I've been told, but I would give it 4 stars. I'm gonna keep reading. Maybe I'll see if my husband will read it with me because I think he read them when he was younger too. Now I'm gonna talk a little about all of the books that I read for this. The other one was Gilded by Marissa Meyer, which I actually found out she's written a lot of other books, which is really cool. It took me a really long time to get through the book, but I think I did enjoy the book, and I want to keep reading her books as well. So I would probably give her book, well, I guess I want to give it like 4 stars because I like the ending was like, I just want to keep reading and find out more. Give me 1 second. The dog is knitted. Yeah. And then the first book that I read, my sister's recommendation, Discover What You're Best At by Linda Gale. I don't think I would give a rating to it, but I definitely would recommend if you are trying to figure out what you are thinking about doing career-wise. That is a really good place to start. I wish when I was in high school that I would have taken the aptitude tests in this and then kind of looked at the options that were good for what I'm interested in. So I'm not going to rate it because technically I didn't read the whole thing because it's a reference book. Yeah, so those are my family's recommendations for me for this one, and I'm ready to read stuff that I want to read now. So I'm gonna move on to something else. I actually finished the Warriors book and I started an audiobook, so until next time.